In this episode, we're going to look back at my first Hot Wheels Redline restoration, or more accurately, Resto Mod.
Collections, classics, customs, restorations. This is Crossroads Speed Shop.
Hey, this is Skip, and welcome back to the Crossroads Diecast Speed Shop. Long before my Instagram post, YouTube videos, I started collecting, restoring, and customizing die-cast cars. Matter of fact, on the turntable, two cars you see there were cars that got me back into the hobby of collecting. I found these two at an antique mall out near Chicago several years ago. And I started thinking, well, you know what? I had those cars. Those were probably two of my favorite cars when I was a kid. And I said, I want to get them. So I got these ones. Actually, they're replicas. They're vintage series, which is a much later version than the ones I had. But I wanted to have them. And so I picked them up. And I said, maybe I'll start collecting. See if I can find some of the ones I had as a kid, kind of memorabilia or whatever. Well, of course, if any of you have ever been doing any of that, you know that when you get out there and start looking for them, how high the prices are for old Matchbox and Hot Wheels cars. And but then I came across some diecast restoring channels on YouTube. Things like places like Marty's Matchbox Makeovers, Bare Metal Hot Wheels, Diecast Restoration, Jim Silver, Ron at Somo Diecast, my friends Paul at Diecast Graveyard, and Andrew at Maple Leaf Customs. I saw that, and I kept watching their shows, and it got me thinking, okay, maybe I can't afford to get those nicer ones, but maybe I can find some ones that are kind of beat up and buy them. So I started watching online, and I started looking around and checking at different antique malls that I would go to see if I could find any of those. And I followed Paul's advice at Diecast Graveyard, where he said start with some main lines, and so I started doing a little bit of detailing. Then I did some wheel swaps. Some of my early wheel swaps were just taking wheels from another Hot Wheels car and putting them on there. Then getting maybe some ones with real riders and doing that. And I really started getting into the hobby. And I started getting more tools, and so I could start stripping and cleaning and really doing that. And then I was ready to try my hand at restoring some cars. And so I came across this Demon. Actually, it wasn't a Demon. It was actually a Hot Wheels Prowler that had come out. And I found it in a dump bin. It was my first restoration project. And so this is what I have. Okay, it's my first one. Actually, it's probably more of a resto mod. I think that's what we would call that. And again, in the early days of my hobby, I just took pictures and documented my builds. And of each car, I kind of wanted to have this story. So again, let's take a look at some. Again, the Demon was an interesting, or the Prowler. This one is actually a Prowler. But the Demon was kind of a neat car. I have several of them, such as this one here. It's a metal base. I don't recall what year this one was, but I came across that. And it was kind of a neat one. I've also got a couple of the vintage. Let's see if I can put them on there. Well, doing it. I came across a couple of these vintage ones, or 30th anniversary Hot Wheels Demons and stuff. And it was always this was my first attempt at restoring an original Hot Wheels Redline. I found it in a dump bin at a local antique mall for $1. And as I said, it's the '73 Prowler. It's formerly known as the Demon. Again, it doesn't look like much, or I'll show you what it looked like before. It didn't look like much, but for $1, I thought, well, why not, And as I did my research, the Prowler name change came due to comments by religious parents about the Demon name. That's something I found on the Hot Wheels Wiki site. And so they changed it to the Prowler. I think it was based on the little coffin car from many years ago. As I looked at the base, the number and the base and everything, this was a Hong Kong car. It was made of red line from 1973 to 1976. And I remember having the Demon as a kid. It was part of the Demon and the Jackrabbit special from the Hot Wheels Saturday morning cartoon show. I remember watching that when I was younger. And maybe I was a little bit older, maybe in my early teens even at that time. But again, it kind of led, these Hot Wheels and Matchboxes kind of led to my liking and getting interested in cars, and even some of those as I got older, getting some real cars. But anyways, for my, as I say, for my research, this was the Prowler, and it was changed due to some parents' concern about the demon name on it, even though that's what Dexter called it on the Hot Wheels program. Okay, so for anyways, I'm going to start showing you. I'm going to show you some pictures and some things of this car, and some things what it looked like. From the pictures you can see here, this car was well played with, and you can see from the picture that it was a red line. I had this. They were the straight axle cars, and they had no bearing wheels or cap style wheels. That was something that the wheel straight through the wheel axles was something new. Actually, right here I have this was actually the wheel that came off the back there. I think you can see that in the picture. That was one of the wheels that came off the back. I kind of saved it just kind of as a memento or whatever of my first one. You can see here that from the pictures that it was missing the engine. Part of the roof is crushed in. Possibly it got stepped on. It was a really dirty car. Fortunately, I thought maybe the window was gone when I first looked at it, but the window was there. It was still intact. The base was really, really tarnished, and I didn't have, at that time, I didn't have any lime away or lime out. But I had seen this video, I think maybe it was Bare Middle Garage, Hot Wheels, excuse me, Bare Middle Hot Wheels. And I'd seen a video where he used distilled white vinegar. So after a couple hours, I put it in this jar of white vinegar, and after a couple hours with some brass brush and some polish, it come out looking almost new, as you can see here from the pictures. After some stripping and scrubbing the body, you can notice I hadn't done anything as far as polishing the body yet, because I wanted to straighten out the roof. And you can even see that dark spot where it was really tarnished on the front. With some taps and a rubber mallet and a little prying with pliers and a screwdriver, I was able to get the roof back straight, and the B-pillars were broken on the bottom. So I tried some small dabs of JB Weld, and I got a mock-up here of the car prior to polishing it. The wheels that I have on there now, just some I was just trying to fit, because like I said, I had to cut the other ones off in order to clean the base, and so I ordered some replacements, some red line ones. You might notice that also in some of these pictures that the rear bumper was missing. So what I did on that is I took some JB Weld, and I put some JB Weld on the end to extend it and to fashion the piece. And then by filing it and scoring it a little bit, I was able to make that get extended a little bit. And here's a picture of the car after I got it painted. And then I added some wheels from Second Chance Redlines, along with they have the bearing style and the axles and things they put on. And then I mocked up the car. And I wasn't able to find a reasonably priced engine at that time, so I got one from a mainline car. So now it kind of made it into more of a resto mod than the actual Prowler car. So again, let's look at it. Let's look at it again from the beginning. Here are what the pieces look like as I got ready to put it together. And I put some matte black on the roof. And so what a difference it was. I'll show you. Here's a picture again of what it looked like when we started out. And this is what it looks like now that it's finished. So I hope you like this. This is something a little bit different that I was trying to look back at some of the things. I didn't have videos of the early days of my diecast hobby, but I wanted to share some of those early ones that I have. If you like this too, I'd be happy to have you put in the comments, say, yeah, I like those videos. Maybe I'd like to hear some more of those stories. Put that in the comments, and we'll see about maybe putting some more of these together as well. As always, God bless, and thanks for stopping by the shop.